Hey, my apologies. I know it's been longer than I had planned. Pretty rough couple of weeks. Finishing up with vetting for getting listed on the transplant list. It blows my mind how many appointments there are. It really, really does. I believe I finally have finished that. I have one more appointment with the surgeons coming up on April 4th. One of these times I should probably list out all the different appointments that I had to do just to help somebody else prepare and know what to expect when they're going into something like this. Because I certainly, even with a great team, really great team, and tons of information available at my fingertips, and I read every single thing that they gave me to read, I was not prepared for the amount of appointments, how long it takes to get all the appointments, and the amount of exams. And again, all really good things that candidly are why people that receive organ donations are living longer today than they have historically, because they do a complete genetic testing to see if you are predisposed for any kind of cancers, right? Once you get an organ donation, and they say this frequently, you're trading one set of problems for another. So when they talk about anti-rejection medications, and they use the phrase, we're going to suppress your immune system. And this is my opinion, and I am absolutely not a medical person at all. So let me just be open and upfront and full disclaimer on that, okay? But when I read through this information and the words, we're going to suppress your immune system, or, you have to be on anti-rejection medication, it makes it sound like they're just going to kind of knock it down a little bit so it can't attack the new organ, because that's what the body's going to do. And as I read the information and I researched it, my take and my thought process was, well, you're not going to suppress it. I mean, to me, that's like go sit down in the corner and take a 5-minute break, right? You're going to go on timeout. You're going to annihilate my immune system so that there's nothing left. And when you do that, if I'm predispositioned for breast cancer and I get an organ transplant, and then you destroy my immune system with the anti-rejection medications, if there's any cancers in my system, they're going to run wild. And so then you've gone through this significant procedure and you think, oh my gosh, I've got a second chance at life. And then you die from breast cancer 6 months later, right? So they don't want to do that. Makes sense. That's smart. It also makes sense that, to me, it just doesn't feel like it should have taken this long to get through this process. I met with the transplant team in January, and we're in March. And I still don't know if I'm going to be listed. I won't know that until after my next appointment, which is April 4th, which feels like it's a whole nother month away. It's like, why does it take 4 months? And so I really, really wish that my expectations would have been better managed. And candidly, I do recall the first doctor that I met with in January saying it takes a couple of months. I do remember her saying that, but I don't remember connecting it to the vetting process as much as I connected it to my question, which was, once you get listed, how long does it take to receive an organ? That was my question. And she had to have not heard my question correctly, because no one would have said a couple of months. You can't predict that, right? They could say on average it takes X, Y, or Z, right? But they would have never said a couple of months. So I must not have phrased something correctly. And I should have revisited that question before I left. One of the things I do really wish I would have done before I met with the transplant team that very first time in January was gone in with a list of questions that I wanted answered. And as they were answering items, checking them off that list, and then asking questions that hadn't been addressed yet. So there's a tip for you guys. If you're, maybe in a stage 3 situation and you're kind of cresting into that stage 4 arena, I would highly recommend that. I'll also tell you, I'm tired. I am tired all the time. I didn't do my hair today. I didn't do my makeup today. I didn't have any on-camera meetings. And so I said, to heck with it. I'm just going to be me, and it is what it is. But there are days that I'm too tired to chew. I don't even want to eat anything. And you can't lose weight because you can't be underweight. And there's all these things you have to keep on top of. So I'm going to try and put together some recipes that my sister has made, which are fabulous, if I can get her permission to share with you guys. And then some smoothies that I do to really pack in a high amount of nutrition and calories. Never in my life did I ever think that I would be fighting the scales in the opposite direction, trying to put weight on. My entire life, I have fought the scales in the other direction, which is always trying to take a couple of pounds off. The irony. I've also found, in my wealth of 8 months of experience, but I have found some really good tools, I guess I would say, devices that allow me to stay at home and maintain as much independence as I can have. I live alone. My family really doesn't want me being alone right now. And I love that I have got such an amazing family. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I am incredibly blessed and very, very, very fortunate. But when you're used to a really high amount of independence, and in literally 12 hours that gets taken from you, and then within 6 months you're having a meeting with a transplant team for a lung transplant. Sorry for my language, but that's a hell of a lot to try and process. And every time you go to look for something, it's not where you put it, because you have a great family that is there to help and support you. And I really struggled with this. I struggled with this for probably the first 5 of the 6 months that I was navigating this journey, until I had this moment and I realized it isn't just happening to me. It's not just about me. It's happening to all of us. See, I can talk about my own stuff and not have it bother me. But when I talk about my family and the people that I love the most, that's when it gets hard. But I told you guys, at least I think I did, I don't do multiple takes. I don't edit anything. I grab my phone, I hit record, I record it all. It's one and done, and we're clear. So you're gonna get moments where I'm cracking up laughing, and you're gonna get moments like this where I get a little bit taken aback. You know, but as I was saying, when your family loves you and they want to be there for you, and you're incredibly independent, and you're like, I need to have some independence. Just, if you're somebody like me and you're going through this, or if you're maybe a family member of somebody that's going through this, have that conversation to say, it's not happening to me, but we're going through it with you. You know, because all that the people that love you want to do is to take it away for you. And they can't do anything. There's nothing they can do to help you, except maybe buy your groceries, or do your laundry, or come clean the house. And I, like I say, I spent the first 5 months, solid 5 months, not telling anybody what was going on, hiding it as much as I possibly could, and feeling thankful that I had the family and loved ones that were willing to help me, but at the same time frustrated and annoyed that I needed the help. And I spent a little bit of time last weekend flipping through my Facebook page back through June. And man, let me tell you something, I'm good at hiding stuff. Because if I did not want you to know what was going on with me, there's nothing that went out there that would have even tipped the scale in the slightest lane. You know, I went to Ireland in August. Bet you guys didn't know that I was on a power scooter the whole time I was there. Camera didn't pick that up, did it? Made sure it didn't. No pictures of me on oxygen. No, I'm not gonna get a picture with a dog leash on my face. Are you kidding me? I'd rip that sucker off, we'd take the picture, it would look great, and then we'd post it. And it got me thinking. You know, I've oftentimes said social media has desocialized people more than anything else. But I am just as guilty as everybody else, because you only want to put a good face on. You only want to put, you know, your game face on, because you don't want anybody to know what you're really dealing with, because then you would have to deal with it. How many people could say the same thing about themselves? I don't know. I can only speak for myself. But I venture to think a lot of us do. And then you start thinking about people that are battling mental health issues, or substance abuse issues, or very domestic assault. I mean, all sorts of things, right? And they're looking at everybody else's pages, and everybody else's life is just perfect. And I feel so alone and so isolated. How many people feel that way because we don't put out there, or I don't put out there? How many millions of the eyes are there that don't put out there what they're really going through? And it's okay to be broken. It's okay to be broken. And sometimes having the courage to say, I need help, makes you the strongest person in the room. I don't know, just a little wisdom, little thought. And as always, I'll make sure to put a song as the first thing in the comment section. And I'll try to do a better job at keeping these updates going more regularly, and with more detail. Have a great night, everyone. God bless.